And we're missing Kevin, which he should be here momentarily. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Good, good.
Mm-hmm.
He's chewing.
I see. All right. Yeah. We're already
I'm
there.
taking my vitamin.
I see. We're already there. Yes. No, it's okay. We're already there.
If only there was some other
I'm not
time you
eating
could have
food.
taken that, you know?
Well, it's supposed to be one during like around morning and then one later in the day.
Yeah. Like, there's so much time later in the day other than the exact moment we start a podcast. You know what I mean?
No, that's
Unless the
impossible. What do you
instructions
want?
state, like, specifically, take it while you're starting a live broadcast.
It,
This is
for all
two
you,
daily, with or without food.
Thank
for
you.
all you know, Adam, it could actually say that. Okay, try to be a little bit more inclusive. You racist.
Oh.
I take that all back. Adam's a nice guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. If anybody's a racist, man, it's probably this.
You know, Kevin's not here. It's going to be him. This is what he gets for being late all the time. Kevin's a racist. He won't listen to this. He won't. Nobody will know, you know? Screw it. Kevin's a rapist. We had him replace Giuseppe because even though Giuseppe did nothing wrong, we just wanted we wanted a bad boy.
Now,
so we got Kevin, a convicted assaulter, a convicted felon.
Wait a second.
He's not allowed near schools.
Oh Lord. Listen, first
he's
of all,
not allowed within 50 feet of me in real life.
Okay.
Because he once beat me to the edge of my life.
Okay, we gotta rewind a minute here. Okay.
We're not going back to what you. I know what you're thinking of going back to. Don't do it. Move on. No, move on.
Listen. Hold on. You can't say that Giuseppe didn't do anything wrong.
Like legally.
No. You can't tell me that he didn't even do anything wrong legally. Okay. We took him out for the exact reason that I don't need to disclose right now. Okay.
That's true. We did.
He doesn't ever deserve to show his face here, and even if he ever does, I will personally make sure that he doesn't have a face after the end of this.
Oh, you want to know something good? I hear that he can walk again, so we didn't ruin his life that much. So
you know
what though? We did send Kevin after him, so that's in a way, kind of true. Kevin just went off though. He's not here. What's he gonna do? He's not gonna listen to this. Screw that guy. What's everyone's least favorite thing about Kevin?
For his sake, he should knock his own legs out before I come over there and knock his legs out.
No. What's everyone's least favorite thing about Kevin? Desunoto, you go first.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
He's too good at Returnal. He's just too good at Returnal. You know what I mean? I only died like 10 times before the story ended. Liar. You made that up. Even though I watched almost his entire playthrough of Returnal and he barely ever died, I just feel like he's making it up, you know what I mean? Nobody can be that good at Returnal.
Let me tell you the thing I hate most about Kevin. Okay? Let me tell you the thing I hate most about Kevin. I hate he didn't say enough of venomous things to Giuseppe. I hate that about him.
Well, hold on.
He could have said more. No, he could have said more. He could have said more. He could have said a lot more things. And he could have also physically done things to him that would probably be good. And he also could have mentally done things to him that would have probably been better. And he could have also broken his entire world of existence by just eliminating his entire family.
Sure.
Would have done the world a favor. Would have done the world.
I wouldn't say that, but
I mean, no. I mean, okay, maybe I'm over exaggerating. It would have probably done his town a favor. The world doesn't really need to know who he is, and the world really doesn't know who he is at all because he's not really important anyway. He's
we should probably get started since Kevin's about to join.
He's
Desunoto, what have you been playing?
I just think that Giuseppe Desunoto,
what have you been playing?
We just gotta toss Giuseppe into
Uh,
lava.
not too much. Again, mostly watching stuff. The
What
other
do you?
day I watched
Yeah.
Rush Hour 1 and 2,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
just as hilarious as I remember the last time I saw it, which was probably like maybe 6 months to a year ago.
I think it was about a year ago when we watched it.
Yeah,
Classic movies.
you skip 3.
I just didn't watch 3 yet because it was this past Sunday, and I was just chilling,
Was three
and
one
I'm
of the
Three,
like, you
ones
know
that
what?
people just didn't like to watch?
three's
Like, just
not good.
three, just
One and two are
Three's
basically the same movie. It's or two. It was made in that age where like they just remade the first movie but better, usually, or
yeah.
like they changed a few things, and that basically was how that happened. And 3 was made like some years after. It was directed by like
welcome.
Brett Ratner. Hey, Kevin. And it just
3
wasn't.
was okay,
It just wasn't
nothing
that good.
crazy.
The only thing funny that happened in 3, some dude falls off like some tower into like a kiosk, and my friend at the time when we were watching it, he said, "You just got kiosk." But he screamed it with such authority, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And I remember nothing else about Rush Hour 3. Rush Hour 1 and 2, thumbs up, seal of
I
approval.
think the only other thing I remember is the taxi driver guy. He was he's feeling all this adrenaline driving them around and being an American.
See, that sounds funny, but I don't remember it. I bet if I
I
saw it,
remember that.
it's probably not
The
that
taxi
funny.
driver dude was like, I am American. What are you talking about? I am
I will
American.
I will have to look at. Hey, like those people call about my extended car warranty. Nice guys.
Nice guys, real
What are
nice
you
guys. They're
talking
always trying to
about? My
save
name
money.
is Kevin. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, Kevin.
Kevin, I got something to ask you, Kevin, real quick. If I had a request, would you be able to fulfill that request for me?
Um, Go on.
What are you eating
No,
too? What is this?
I just got out of work. Yeah, I'm
You
eating.
taking a
It won't
vitamin?
take long. Nope.
the request that I'm looking to have, we need to get rid of a certain individual in reality, all right? If we can make this
No,
happen.
no, no. No. What have we talked about?
What?
What have we talked about? Threats of violence are talked about offline. Remember that. I mean, not at all. I mean, threats of violence, not at all. That's what I meant to say. Not offline. Just not at all. Thank you. Desunoto, do you have anything else to watch or play? Or
Aw, he's living down
uh,
the ground now.
I finished Higurashi season 2,
uh
Terrible show.
and I finally understand where the third season comes in and where it's like a sequel, but it's also like a retelling part, like part of it's a retelling, then it segues into the sequel, but it also,
You
you
understand why
can't
it's a
watch
terrible
the
show?
third season without watching the first two.
Yeah, do
I
you understand
understand
why it's a
why
horrible
now.
show?
It's actually a pretty decent show.
No,
Pretty
no,
good
no, no.
show.
Do you understand why it's a terrible show?
I don't know why you think it's bad.
It's beyond horrible. It is beyond terrible.
Why?
Every listen, all there is it's mindless, stupid incidents that happen in that show, right? Involving all the female characters, and none of them, they're all liars. You don't trust any of them.
But it's
If
not even
if
only the female characters.
all right, what one male character had some
It's
sort
like
of like
everybody.
no.
Did you finish watching both seasons?
I finished watching it. I read the manga. I was not impressed with the show at all, and I hate the show and I hate everything about the story.
who watches all of a show they're not impressed with?
I mean, I'm
Usually,
gonna
I watch
watch
a
it to
couple
the end.
episodes and I go, "Wow, this is bad. I'm gonna stop." I never like for a movie. Sure, I'll finish it out. I'm committed. But for a show, if I'm a few episodes in and it's not hooked me, I'm out. I'm tapping
Here's the
out.
problem. When I watched the anime, I didn't think this opinion of it until I read the manga, and then I rewatched the anime, and I'm like, this is
Wait,
stupid.
wait, 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 wait. You're telling me you've watched the show twice and read the adaptation or read the original manga? Is that what you're telling me
Listen,
right now?
no. Listen to what I'm saying. I watched fully the first time, right,
Uh
without
huh.
reading the manga. After reading the manga, when I see the show, I feel like that's stupid.
Is this one of
I
those
didn't.
moments where you're being like one of those people, being the book's better than the show or movie or whatever? Is that what you're saying
No, the
about this?
books. No, no. It's just when I read the manga. Okay, it kind of just opened my eyes to how dumb the story was, and I was like, oh, they kind of shortened everything down. Well, no,
Well,
they
I'm confused.
not really. They explain what happens in the show, but the show just doesn't. The show is just it's terrible in the
So the
way of the
manga's better.
story. In general, this story sucks. Okay, I just thought the manga would have been better until I skipped all the way to the end and I seen everything and I'm like, oh, it's the same. The show's even worse now.
I gotta be honest. I don't understand. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm confused on why it took you so long to get there. To watch a show, think that, hey, this is good, probably, and then read the manga, and it sounds like you skipped to the end of the manga, and then we're like, this added more information, but the story is stupid. And then when you rewatch the show, that like cemented that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Confusing. Desunoto. Did you watch or do anything else?
Ow. Um, hmm,
Simple no would be fine.
hmm. I rearranged my bookcase here with my Funko Pops. I took out like 30 something Funko Pops that I'm gonna get rid of because I want more space for scale figures.
Mm, all right. You selling the
Yeah.
Funko Pops?
Yes.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take a while,
Yeah.
but
You're better off selling
yeah.
them in bulk. Like, hey,
Yeah,
buy
I was
five
gonna
Funko
do that
Pops,
because
random.
there's like nine Dragon Ball ones, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and then there's like a few Yu-Gi-Oh ones, and there's some Overwatch ones. There's Corrupted Venom, and then some other random stuff like Gur from Invader Zim, Spyro, uh, Bruce Lee, Kakashi from Naruto,
Yeah, we don't have to
Mad
go through them
Moxie
all.
from Borderlands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
A lot of people.
Yeah.
yeah, I mostly kept the ones that are like much higher value, which is some of the DBZ ones. Death Note,
All right.
This
Aloy is
is how you
still
sell
pretty
Funko Pops on
high.
the black market.
So is a lot of
Or
the
the
old
white market.
ones like Azula from Avatar
Oh
and
God! Now you're reminding me of the cast that Adam was in
Oh,
the chat. But oh God.
oh my gosh, really good. Kevin, I'm assuming you
Joe
want to
and
go last,
Leon.
by the way, with what you've played, right?
Yes, I would like to go last because it'll just go
Okay.
straight in my topic.
Okay. Genesis, do you want to go next? You never go
I'll go
next.
next.
Yeah, you never go second.
I'll go next here. So first of all, that cast for Avatar, it's disgusting. I want to vomit. I don't want to see that cast for Avatar.
Yeah, that
Terrible.
original movie sucked. Yeah, good point. Keep going.
The original movie, the Netflix adaptation, the only one that's good is the original show. That's it. No, nobody can make anything live action from that anymore. Ever since it got ruined by that movie, and now it's gonna get ruined again by the show. I played. What did I play? Oh God, I started up Persona 5. I was playing that before the last cast, and I've been playing that ever since. Um, I also platinumed Rogue Company finally with my good friend Kevin. There, we both got the platinums. I got mine a little later than he did, um, but I got finished that one up, and I played that. What else did I play? Oh God, I think that was it. I don't think I played anything else. I didn't play the Back for Blood beta again. I deleted that off the console. God,
Hmm.
I didn't play anything else. I didn't even watch anything else. Oh God, what have I done? Yeah, that's it.
Didn't you play Tokyo whatever?
No, that I
Xanadu,
finished
EX
that.
Plus.
I
When did you
finished that
finish
game
that?
and I beat it. Remember, I beat it
No,
before I started
when?
Persona 5. Oh, 2 weeks ago.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
really? I
you
thought it was
did.
more
Yeah.
recent. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was more recent too.
Oh, 2 weeks because last week I started playing Persona 5. The
Before
week
the
before that
cast
is when I
or after the cast?
no before the cast. Before the cast.
Oh.
Yeah, I started playing before the cast.
Oh wow.
Because the week before that I was playing Tokyo Xanadu and I beat that.
God,
Again,
it's
I'm on
confusing.
that string of like, JRPGs. I still have Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah.
installed, and I
Yeah.
I definitely want to go back and beat that. I also have to go back and beat Kingdom Hearts 3 because I have to platinum that one. I also have to beat the DLC of Final Fantasy VII Remake because I didn't get to beat the DLC. So there's that. The problem is when you're on one of these strings of like JRPGs, they're very long. They take forever to finish. But man, some of their stories are really good. So far, Persona 5 is real good. I remember
Mhm.
playing the original, and the Royale edition now just adds a lot more depth to those stories with some of the character arcs and things like that. Um, I don't know.
Those books I just passed out. That's for Kevin's thing. There's two of them. We'll get to that when it's
Uh,
Kevin's turn.
yeah, I don't know where the second one went.
It should be in your inventory. If you hit triangle, then R2, you should see your inventory.
Oh yeah, it's not there.
What do you mean it's not there?
It's not there.
It is there.
Nope, it's not there.
You should have two.
Nope, it's not there. I guarantee you. Hang on a second.
When you hit R2?
Yep, yes, I hit R2 and it's not there.
How?
Game Titan wants to.
I
I
threw
don't know.
I threw two books
Yeah,
at you.
yeah, I know. I hear you. I know what you did, and I agree with what you did.
Well,
I just,
sucks.
yeah, yeah, I
Which
guess
one
so.
don't you have?
I have Diablo 2 multiplayer beta.
Anyways, you play anything else or are you done?
No, I'm done.
Alright. Let me just make this real quick and then I'll talk about what I played. Hey, come back. Why do you have so much stuff?
There we go. I got it now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just gonna throw all that trash in the corner over there.
It'll be fun. It's fine.
Nah, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna burn it. Hold on, give me 1 second. What did I play? I played a bunch of Minecraft. Um, yeah, I played a bunch of Minecraft in our other world, Tentacle Man. Um, I actually did a little tour of our old world, and I recorded that. Probably will upload that at some point. So,
I'm gonna get another upload on starting too late.
yes, yes. I actually uploaded what I saw in Minecraft that scared me yesterday, or I swore. So language on that one. I
So
uploaded another short.
what happened with the series that you had going on that channel?
Oh, the Minecraft series.
Yeah.
Literally, like I stopped for like a couple weeks, and the Minecraft was updated, and I was like, should I make a new world? And then I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. So I'll start it back up again eventually.
Oh man, because I was looking forward to
I
episode
know,
5.
I know. Don't worry, there will be another episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 probably.
Please don't make this like the Snyder cut. I need more. I can't just
Yeah,
not. You
I'll
can't
start
just give
over.
me
Don't
4
worry.
episodes and call it a day.
And then what else did I play? Oh, I played Spyro 3. Got the platinum in that. I
Very nice.
platinumed all 3 Spyro games. And then on Sunday, I started Maquette. And
Oh God.
on Monday, I got the platinum for Maquette. 3 hours it took me to get that platinum. I actually kind of enjoyed the game. The puzzles,
3 hours?
yeah, about 3 hours. Um,
Oh my God, that's fast. You follow a guide?
yeah, the puzzles. My brain can't do two things: directions and depth. I can't do any of those. And this game is all about directions and like your depth perception. Totally messed up. So I just followed a guide the entire time, and then I just did the speed runs. One of the speed runs was you had to do it within 9 minutes, and it was like a 10-minute tutorial. And I googled like how to glitch through it. Found a glitch, took me 5 minutes, and I did it. So
Is that
actually,
the first part? The first level?
now the fourth, the one where you have to like go into the church and ring the bell at the end. It's like it's a long level. It, when you first play it, if you're not using a guide, it would probably take you about half hour to figure stuff out if you're not quick on that stuff.
Right,
But
right.
it's the longest level in the entire game. And I was like, I'm not doing a 9 minute speed run on this. So I just Googled how to beat it, and I found a video that showed you how to beat it in under a minute. And I just loaded it up, tried it, and it worked. So thanks, YouTube. So yeah, I got 2
Good.
platinums this week. I'm at 83 now, I think, or 82. I think I'm at
Yeah, please
83.
don't tell me you have any sort of positive feelings towards that game. That game
No,
deserves the journey of
I'm not gonna
deepest
lie.
dark fire.
I kind of enjoyed the story of Maquette. The thing that confused
I
me. Let me hold on. We know. The thing that confused me though, their relationship broke down. Like it was all positive, and then they were like, then we saw the cracks starting to form, and then they had that beautiful argument at the end of like chapter 4 or 5, and it's just like they're arguing about the smallest thing, and it just blows up into this like personal attack from both, and it's like, wow, this was well acted and well written because it sounded like a real argument that I've had before. Like I enjoyed that, but I think it jumped into them declining a little too fast. And again, the puzzles for me, I don't blame the puzzles. I think I'm just too stupid for them. Like to figure some things out. Like the whole idea, it's neat of like using maquettes and like making things smaller and bigger by using those. That's a cool idea, but at the same time, like, nah, my dumb brain would have never figured half of that crap out. So, thank you to PS5 trophies. So, watched a lot of that. So, Kevin, what did you play?
I played some Rogue Company with Genesis. We got that Platty.
Mm-hmm.
I played. I think it was the only other game that I played. I
Yeah.
played Diablo 2's multiplayer beta, and I played Axiom
very
Verge
nice.
2, which came out a lot sooner than I thought it was going to. I thought it was next year, so that was a pleasant surprise. And that's literally it. Axiom Verge 2 and Diablo 2's multiplayer beta have pretty much taken over my gaming life at the moment.
My God. When does the Diablo 2 beta end? Is that the 20th?
um, I think the multiplayer beta section that they're in now ends the 20th because then the open beta starts,
Uh
and
huh.
that goes to the 22nd. And then I don't think they're doing anything past that, and it comes out September 23rd, so about a month later.
Ah, okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's all I've been doing.
All right. All right. Topics. Kevin, I
All right,
think you want to
topics.
go.
Now we're just jumping straight in. All right,
Yeah, we
everybody
might as
got some
well.
books. Everybody got some books. We'll
I
start with
got books.
Diablo 2.
Desunoto, you got books? Do you know where they are?
I know how to read books.
So what?
You say what? You got the books I
Yeah.
threw at you? Diablo 2
Oh,
and
oh no,
Axiom
I'm
Verge
not in
2?
my room right now.
Alright, well. Why are you
All right.
here? Do you enjoy doing this? I feel like we should just ask this. Are you making food? Is that what's going on?
I was getting food. Yeah.
Okay, alright, well.
I mean,
I got the book.
he's
Uh.
Which one we starting with, Kevin?
Diablo 2 multiplayer
Oh.
beta.
X to get out of your thing. To get out of yeah. Walk
L2 to
forward.
read L2 to read the book.
Oh, close. There you go. L2 to get back in, and then L2 to read the book. You said Diablo?
All right. Yeah, Diablo first. All
Ah,
right.
crap.
Diablo.
So,
All right.
Diablo 2 multiplayer beta started up for those that pre-ordered the game. I pre-ordered it both on PC and PlayStation. Because, just in case people playing on different systems. Um, so it is the Diablo 2 multiplayer beta, but I did not take part in any multiplayer aspect at all. I just played the game. Um, so guess what? Private parties work out. Single player works out. There we go. Uh,
I mean, that's
So
good to know for anybody who wants to just play single player.
yeah, um, we'll just jump right into this because this is a wonderful remaster of the game. Um, so like all my reviews, we have the good, the meh, and the bad. So we'll start out with the good. It's Diablo 2 with a minor quality of life improvements. So yeah, they basically took Diablo 2 with Lord of Destruction and made a prettier version of it right on top of the old game. You can switch between the graphics seamlessly. Um, I don't know why you would go back. Well, I mean, if you really want to go full nostalgia factor, sure, go back to that. But ooh, it's not pretty at higher resolutions. Let me tell you. Um,
It didn't age
so
that well.
no, no.
Did you find
Um,
yourself like just checking to see like what did this look like in the old game or anything like
I
that?
did that like a total of twice, and I was
Oh,
just like, there's like games that are pixelated, like deliberately pixelated, that look better than this. So you know what? We're gonna put
all
that in
right.
background. I mean, back then it looked great, but monitors and everything were very different back then. With the capabilities of showing like higher resolutions, I don't think that's helped the matter at all. um, but anyway, the new graphics look great. Um, I put the game in performance mode instead of quality mode. I'm sure quality mode looks a little bit better, but like performance mode is just fine, and that'll make sure you have 60 frames a second, which is kind of important. In a hacking slash game, um, the quality of life improvements in the game. They did some updating of the stash, so you have your main stash page for the character you're currently playing, and three stash pages. I can't speak for that'll be shared between all characters. I don't believe the shared stash was a thing in the original game. It has been a long time, and I did not look any of this up. But I'm pretty sure there wasn't really much of a shared stash, and if there was, it was just single page. So having three pages is really nice. I think the storage has been slightly expanded as well. It looks a little bigger. The only thing they could have probably done is expanded upon the player's inventory because you go back to town a lot in this game to sell stuff. And I know like experienced players are going to not be picking up everything off the ground and know what they're targeting, but like for new players, you go back and forth from town to the world a lot because a lot of things drop. Despite what Blizzard said, and despite what Blizzard thinks about Diablo 3 and how they were like, no, 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 we have enough stuff dropping. This is basically how Diablo 2 worked. No, play this or watch someone play it. Not even close. Like almost every enemy in the game drops something. Um, so I mean, it's not all useful, but at least they drop stuff. Diablo 3,
What
it
is
was nothing drop stuff, and it's all useless.
what does your inventory look like in this game? Because I remember Diablo 3's
It's a grid.
inventory was like, okay, so it's not like a list form. Like they had like 60 spaces, and you just pop them in there, and you could compare and contrast.
Not really, no.
So
It's a grid that you can't spin anything. It just goes in straight, which is pretty much the standard for games like this, anyways.
is everything fit in like one grid, or do things take up like more than one space, like Resident Evil style?
Resident Evil style. So
Oh,
potions, scrolls, stuff like that, one space. You have belts to take up two. Shield, helmet, boots, gloves take up four, and then weapons are kind of all over the place between three and eight in a two by four grid. Um, so what you call it? But yeah, like honestly, the good thing about this, it's Diablo 2. It's the Diablo 2 that we all know and love. Blizzard did remove TCP/IP connectivity and multiplayer, or at least it's not launching with it, which apparently they said it was going to, and it was going to be a core thing for the game. I don't know to the extent of what people like used this for. I want to say it was probably to set up like a private server almost, but like a mod or something I'm sure will come out for the PC crowd to like get around this anyways. And you have things like Hamachi which might work. Um, but I don't really see it as like a huge blow because they do have a better party system built in. I've heard mixed things about how it works in the multiplayer beta, but they got a month to figure that out. Um, but private parties, public party, set parameters of what you want to do. basically kind of like what Diablo 3 has, just not as much because it's not broken down to like campaign and adventure mode, and it doesn't have all this other extra crap. Okay, so then there, like I said, there's performance and quality modes, um, which for those who want just the graphical fidelity, it's nice that you can turn it on, and for those who want performance, like I do, you can turn that on. It's built into the console version as well, so either way you want to play the game, that option is there. Just toggle it. I played mostly on PS5, and the controls are real solid. The game works very well on the controller. Doesn't have any PS5 support for like the triggers, but nothing is really on the triggers, so that's fine. Um, you can bind like a skill to one of the triggers, so it would kind of be weird with it. Um, that's really it for the good. Because that kind of just encompasses the whole game. Because again, I don't have a lot to say because it's as good as Diablo 2 is because it's literally that game. So it's out again.
It's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at
No,
all. I mean,
no,
if it's
it's a
just like
great
the one you
remaster because
remember.
it's right. It's the game. They didn't have to change it because it was already near perfection when it came out originally, and
Is
it's
this a remaster or is it a remake?
more of a remaster than a remake because they didn't really change that much at all. And then well, basically the old game is there. It's running in the background. They just made something pretty over the top of it.
Oh, okay.
Um, but like back then and to now, this style of game, nothing has really changed or been updated in this style of game across all those years. So like it still holds the test of time. Even like a game like Path of Exile. Path of Exile is different because it's a lot more complex with what you can do with a character, and you can make a lot more variety in your characters, and there's like really, really wild builds in that game. But that's that game. It's still at its core plays like a Diablo game, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to the meh. Um, Cursor acceleration. So this isn't a thing on PC because you're using a mouse, but on controller, they do the thing where if you're so when you're in like your inventory, you have the option of using the D-pad, which is real jank, or you have the option of just using the right stick as if you would a mouse, and that works just fine, kind of. So there's acceleration on it, so the longer you hold it in a certain direction, it speeds up gradually, which makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense when you have an option in the options that sets the sensitivity for that. They should get rid of the acceleration on that and just have that flat number, and it'll feel so much better because it's real hard to make precise movements with that, and if they just got rid of that, it'd be fine. So minor gripe there. It still works. You don't really have to like manipulate your inventory on the fly all that often unless you're like super hardcore, which you'll probably find a shortcut or like a way you like doing it anyway. The bad, and this is real bad, like real bad. So remember how I said this is Diablo 2? This is literally the old Diablo 2 game. Uh-huh. So connectivity and rubber banding is literally the exact same after 25 years or however long it's been. You will have lag outs and rubber banding in the exact same manner that existed back when this game came out. And that is not
Oh, it's the
acceptable.
same. Wait, so it's the same online system? They haven't changed anything, is what you're
Not
saying?
that I can tell. Like, if they have, I'm sure they've done something on the back end because, like, I don't think the original code would like work in today's systems. But like, they really haven't tried to fix much because, like, it rubber bands in the exact same way that it did back when I first played this game, where your character just sort of like moonwalks backwards real quick to like where the server actually thinks your character is, as opposed to where you just were.
Oh God.
It's yeah. So that's like I said, that's kind of unacceptable in my book, but it's I guess it's following in the remaster aspect.
I guess yeah. Then that makes sense if you say it's a remaster because it hasn't even fixed that issue in it.
No, so I mean, I hope that they do a little bit more to try to fix that up and make it better, but we'll see how that goes. Even if they don't, I'm still playing the game. I'm still gonna love it because it's not only is it a nostalgia trip, but now it feels like a new game because I don't remember anything from that. People who like were still playing it, they might sit here and be like, all right, well, what's the point in buying this if I'm still playing the original? And that's kind of a good point. There really isn't a reason to buy this unless you're like someone who missed out on this game, or you're like, oh yeah, I remember playing that game like 10 plus years ago. Maybe pick it up. It's only $40, I think. So, yeah, that's basically the Diablo 2 multiplayer beta.
Cool. Cool. I
Questions, comments, concerns.
I'm actually genuinely surprised by the connectivity and the rubber banding. I was like, oh well, if they didn't fix all that, then okay, all right then. From the times I saw you playing, I mean, yes, you were playing private, single player, so you're not really gonna see any of that stuff. But that
Oh
you'd
no,
see
you
more
do.
often. Oh, you still see it on single player too?
Because it's all online now. I think it was too in Diablo 2, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
There's no solo offline.
I didn't see anything like that when I was watching you play. Is it like often? Is it seldom?
No, it's not often. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good at least
I've
then.
maybe
Okay.
experienced it in the whole first act and 4 areas of the second act. I've experienced it like 5 times.
Okay. As somebody who's only ever played Diablo 3, I know you recommended Diablo 2 to me because you're like, oh, I'll probably like this game. I'll probably watch you play it some more. If I end up liking it, maybe I'll one of these days end up picking it up for cheap.
Yeah, there you go.
Diablo's just never been one of those titles that I. And the only reason why I ever got into Diablo originally was because of Minecraft Dungeons. That was it. But it looked like a
Minecraft
good
Dungeon
game.
was a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, they expanded that a bunch, and I was like, oh. But yeah, that's all I got.
Alright. Anybody else? Or am I moving on to Axiom Verge?
I say I'm
Um,
good.
I have something.
Okay.
I was earlier today. I was watching the Digital Foundry video for the Crisis Remaster trilogy, and it looks amazing. Like 2 and 3 look so damn good. But
Mm-hmm.
then I heard they're not putting ray tracing on consoles because they saw how poorly it ran on Crisis Remastered, the first one they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're not making a native port to the next gen consoles. So I'm questioning why the hell they think it would work well enough, like the ray tracing would be handled effectively from running backwards compatible software on the next gen console.
Don't you
Hmm.
need a patch to do next like ray tracing properly? Like, wouldn't you need something like that to do it? Like, or next gen version to do that? How would they do that with an old gen version of a game?
Somehow they did it with Crisis Remastered, and it barely holds like 30 frames.
So it's
Um,
below 30.
I think it just holds 30, but if you unlock the frame rate to 60, let's say, um, it only goes around like 40s. I forgot what the numbers were because I watched the video a while ago, but I was sitting there questioning why the hell they're so damn lazy with their development, and what Kevin was talking about with Diablo kind of makes me ask the same thing. But I mean, if the game's as people want it to be, then that's a different story. Um, but something like Crisis, I feel like you should be able to get 60 frames with ray tracing on a game like Crisis, like on a next gen console. I think there's enough power there to do that, and that if they did make a native version of the game, which they haven't said they're going to do, then they might. I mean, I don't even know myself about all the intricacies of how ray tracing performs on a native versus backwards compatible software, but it just feels like it would probably run better to me. But I don't know.
It, yeah, it should run better if you actually like program it for the console. If I'm understanding what you mean, right? Like they basically just haven't made like a PS5 version.
Exactly. Yeah, they made a PS4 version. They made an Xbox
Oh,
version.
so
They
they're
made
trying to like
a
upscale that in with ray tracing.
Right. So they said they went in and they redid the textures. They added what was it called? Um something cube mapping,
I
uh
don't know.
filtering like for lighting, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so the reflections, they look like ray tracing, but they're not actually ray tracing because we're afraid that the performance isn't going to be as good on the next gen consoles based on what we saw with the first game."
Hmm.
I don't know. It seems stupid. Like they decided that the development time would be so much more, and they'd have to like file with everything with Sony and Microsoft, and that would take a few months, and then move on from that to development another few months, and like, but I mean, people will wait if you put out
Yeah.
what a quality thing. Like, why are you trying to cut development time down, just so you could put it out and then put out 20 patches later on?
Right. I see what you're saying. Um. So yeah, Diablo 2 like is kind of a unique remastering experience for a developer because like if you changed, oh god, if you changed that game, oh, people would be so mad. Whereas like Crisis, yeah, okay, if you're gonna update like the whole graphic system, Crisis when it came out, all of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were basically trying to like push the boundaries of the gaming PC when those games first
Yeah,
launched. So
highest
like they,
everything.
yeah, so like they should care enough to like actually try on consoles. So yeah, that's kind of lazy in my opinion.
If that's their mission statement to
Right.
literally try to melt your PC, they should keep trying to do that with everything else. I mean, oh, I love Crisis 2 and 3 when they came out, and when I saw the video, I'm like, oh, this looks amazing. But then when they talked about that whole ray tracing, I'm like, well, why am I going to spend $50 for this game that, I mean, obviously they put work into, but it's not up to the par that I would expect them
Right.
to have with their background. Oh, with
Hmm.
what they've done, it just doesn't make sense.
I totally forgot to mention something with the Diablo 2. Um, so the cinematics have all been redone from the ground up, and they are gorgeous. They're
I think I
just like
saw that
the World of Warcraft ones,
on the
Diablo
trailers.
3. Yeah, they're Blizzard's top notch artwork and voice acting and stuff like that. So yay. All right, moving on to Axiom Verge 2.
Axiom
Boom.
Verge 2.
So, a little bit of background here. Axiom Verge 1 came out, I don't even know when, a while ago, years ago. And it's Metroidvania, very, very similar to like Super Metroid in particular. And Axiom Verge 1, you had a whole host of guns that shot all kinds of different projectiles. And it was a real fun game, very varied in terms of like enemy types, what bosses you had to fight, what they had weapon wise to use against you, uh, and just a really good experience. So now we have Axiom Verge 2, where they've said, yeah, range weapons were fun, but what about melee? And at first I was like, I don't know about melee. But then I was reminded that I liked La Mulana 1 and 2 a lot. So I was like, all right, we'll give melee a shot. And like, I loved Axiom Verge 1, so let's just do it. Let's just go head first into this game. No questions asked. And that's exactly what I did, and I'm glad I did. All right, so the good does what the first game did with a melee weapon focus instead of range weapons. Um, this is Axiom Verge 2. It's more of what Axiom Verge was, which is more Metroidvania, more oh, I can totally see that. Like, I'm going to be able to jump up onto this ledge or get up to this ledge at some point, but I can't get up there now. So let's go find the mode of transportation or the upgrade or whatever it is that I'm going to get up there. Or, you know, there's something I can't really interact with, but like clearly it's something, so I'll unlock the ability to interact with this later. And the standard Metroidvania, uh, backtracking through the environment, finding the next place to go, beating bosses along the way, and fighting very interesting and very different enemies all throughout. Um, Melee combat, we'll cover more detail later, but it's pretty much the focus. There are ranged weapons in the game, kinda. The first one you get is a boomerang, which is kind of funky. Um, we'll get that later. The music is real solid, just like the first game. You got some real pumping tracks. Let me tell you. um,
I
and
love me some
then
pumping tracks, man. It doesn't matter
that's
what the
right.
gameplay may be. If it's got good music in it, oh, I'm
The
all
sound
for it.
design is real good too. Um, sound design in this game is uh for like they're just like Axiom Verge 1, they're like trying to restrict themselves to like that 16-bit sound like field, we'll call it, or like array of sounds where like they're not making anything realistic sounding, but not everything sounds like a laser. Not every melee weapon just goes like whew, through the air. Like there's distinct noises for things. Yeah, yeah. Actually, there's like things that they still have like a laser trail, but it's very much like a gun's shot like sound effect. Well, thank you so much for that. The other good thing, boss variety and methods for defeating the bosses are also varied. I've beaten two bosses already in the game, for the only two that I've come across. Bosses in this, I want to say this isn't true in Axiom Verge 1, but it might be partially true. There is a trophy for not beating any boss in this game and still completing the game,
How do you not beat a boss and finish the game?
because they are not needed. Nothing that like the bosses don't drop something that's important.
Oh.
Hmm. Or not they drop good things, but like it's not critical for the completion of the game. But yeah, without I'm not going to spoil anything about the bosses, but there's some interesting ways that you can go about beating these things. And even though the game has a heavy focus on melee combat, um, not every enemy in the game actually has a collision model, whereas or where like the player can stand inside the enemy and not take damage. Certain enemies you have to actually get hit by something that they attack with to take damage, which is very interesting. Not many games do that, and it works really well in this game because it makes it so that you can actually like beat the first boss. Because otherwise, I don't know how you would do it. I mean, somebody would find a way, but
I'm sure somebody would. There's always somebody who
oh yeah,
finds some way to do it.
but yeah. So pretty much everything that is like super important in a Metroidvania style game, this game does pretty well. The meh. So, especially in the early game, the pace of collecting unlockables is kind of overused. You get a lot of means of expanding the map super quickly, super early on. Or like I've explored I think like around 27% of the game's map, and I've gotten like 9 different things to like move through the environment or interact
Oh.
with things. Like you just get them rapid fire, and it's like okay, but like you couldn't stagger these out a little bit more. I mean, I haven't played through the whole game. Maybe it just continues this. If it continues this pace, maybe that's okay. It just seemed real quick and like almost like okay, but did I really need all of this? Like there's one of the things you get really early on is the ability to jump and move pretty much like uninhibited in water.
Mm-hmm.
You get this in the very first section you go into the water. Whereas like Super Metroid, you kind of like can fiddle around in Meridia without the gravity suit for a little bit, but like you get the gravity suit much later. Well, depending on how you play through the game, there are ways to get it way sooner. But
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
There's always ways to get those things sooner. I mean, I think there was like something I saw way back that like you can glitch through your way through water or something like that, and like if you
Oh,
hit
you can do
certain
all kinds of
rocks in a
stuff.
certain
Yeah.
way, you get
Hmm.
all the way past and you get early upgrades. I think Metroid Prime even did that. All the Metroid
Yeah.
games
Well,
have that thing.
yeah, and Super Metroid, you're supposed to have the grapple beam in order to get to the gravity suit, but people have found out ways to like get there without the grapple beam. So, but anyway, um, no, it was just kind of weird that like I said, the first time you go in water, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, so I can't really like move as well, and moments later, oh, here you go, you can move well now. It's like, all right, well then why, if you're gonna give it to me this soon, why not just allow me to move through the water in the first place?
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Why don't
My
you just
two
give it to
cents.
me now?
Yeah. Um, it's not really a big deal. It's just something that I noticed. Another part of the melee combat versus ranged enemies. Most enemies in the game are ranged. You are melee for the most part. You have a boomerang, but it's weird. So the boomerang, first of all, functions like boomerang out of Zelda. So you throw it, and it has to go to the target, hit it, and it'll come back to you. You can get multiple hits out of this. If you throw it past the target and then have it come back to you, it'll actually hit more times than you throwing it directly at a target. Um, but the annoying thing, if you hit the button to throw the boomerang while the boomerang is out, it will immediately teleport back to your hand. So if you're sitting there mashing a button to try to like continually throw the boomerang at something as fast as you could, um, that boomerang is not going anywhere. Because as soon as you start the throwing animation, you are summoning it back to you, and it will deal 0 damage, even if something's right next to you.
Mm.
So yeah, um, but melee combat against ranged enemies, for the most part, it's not an issue. But some of the enemies, this kind of goes into the next thing I want to talk about. Some of the enemies, their AI is programmed to move away from you. So they can move away from you at a slightly faster speed in general. So you're trying to like stab these things, and they're like moving away from you, and they stop, turn, and start shooting at you, and then start moving away again. And it's kind of annoying because it's almost like just prolonging the engagement. But I'm still real early on in the game, and technically the enemies that are doing this, I don't have to fight. So I don't want to say that like this is a problem because I haven't really seen all the weapons and other things that you can do in the game. And I think I've gone into some areas that I'm technically not supposed to go into yet. So we'll just
I'm not surprised. I'm not
word of
surprised at all with
caution.
you,
Oh
Kevin.
yeah, word of caution that like this might be a slightly annoying thing if you're not a fan of melee combat. In these style games, anyways. And then the last thing for the meh is enemy AI. It's not great. A lot of the AI actually doesn't even like work until you approach a certain, like if you're within a certain range of the enemy. So like if you throw your boomerang out to like the extent of its range and hit something, if it's not an enemy that like is constantly doing things, it'll just sit there and take it. You can kill a lot of enemies in the game by staying outside their like aggro range, we'll call it. Um, Not really much of an issue though with the types of enemies that you can kill because they're kind of just nuisances. Um, but again, something to mention and throw in there. The boss AI is great for the most part. I mean, they kind of are scripted to like do certain things in a certain order, but it fits the boss that you're fighting. And then I forgot how to change pages. Found it. And then the bad. Oh my god, the audio mixing in this game is atrocious. My ears bled so hard at the beginning of this game. So, um, not really though. I'm okay. The audio levels in this game are not mixed well at all. If you were to just play the game and not hit a box, you would probably be like, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with this. But as soon as you hit a box or a breakable object, holy goodness, the volume is like twice as loud when you're hitting that, and it is annoying. I had to turn like all the game sounds down. My sound effects volume is 20%, my music is 10%. Like, it's just all over the place. The, in general, the game is not that bad. It's just when certain types of sound effects, especially when you hit a breakable object or an object that like can be broken, but you don't have the right weapon or the right item for it, it is loud, stupidly loud. So this needs some sort of patch, like real soon, just to just to fix that, so we can put it to bed. And it's funny that's the only bad thing I gotta say about this game, but like that's how bad it is. Like it's loud. That's Axiom Verge too.
All right, all right.
Highly
I
recommend.
I generally like to make those comparisons to like Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission and things like that. That's some of the Metroidvania style games that I've played. Um, Obviously, because that's a Metroid game. You
Hmm.
know, most back in the days when I would actually play those, I barely ever play any type of those Metroidvania games nowadays. I don't like the way like the 2D way the 2D plane just playing side scrolling left and right things like that. I just I don't know. For me personally, I've just grown out of it. But um,
All right.
I you know, whenever I hear about people comparing this specific Axiom Verge or any of the other 2D type of platformers, in my mind always goes back to like Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion, and what made me play those two so many times, so often. Like I'd have like 100 or 200 save files in that game. Like every save file would be 99% done.
Hmm.
Like the whole everything's completed, whatever completionist done in
Hmm.
those games, and I'm like, I think the only reason why I always go back is those games offered this like once you figure one thing out in the game, you kind of when you're on your second playthrough or third playthrough, you figure all these other things out, and then you see online, and people are like, "Oh yeah, you could do this if you skip this, and you go here and you get this really early, which unlocks this in turn." And I'm like,
Hmm.
maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do this. I think that was one of the main things that used to entice me back when I was playing those types of games. And I was like, when you mentioned like, oh, if you do this, you kind of get this earlier. And then when you mentioned the whole boss fight, boss battle thing, like, oh, you don't have to kill any of the bosses. Like, you would think with a Metroidvania style game, you have to kill the bosses to get certain power ups to progress in the game. But this
Hmm.
game does the total opposite of that and says, hey, you don't have to kill all the bosses to do anything because the bosses are not crucial to beating the story.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. But those are my thoughts on
Arguably, with where
Axiom
the
Verge.
storyline is going in the game so far, like I don't think there's multiple endings, but if there were, totally could be an ending for not killing any of the bosses written in
So
and fit with the
Axiom
storyline.
Verge, Axiom Verge One. Don't just correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the
Hmm.
game with the picture of the blonde haired with like
No,
uh? Was that something else then?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I
The
might
only
want to look
person,
it up.
blonde-haired girl,
Yes,
Indiana Jones-like outfit,
maybe.
La Mulana 2.
I don't know.
That had a blonde hair. I think it was blonde hair girl on the cover of it. Action Verge One's cover was like this weird baby face with like um what you call it, like cords coming off of it. The main character is like a scientist dude with a brown lab coat.
That is the yep. That is the box art for that one. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm mistaken. I don't know what I was thinking then.
Don't know.
That's my thoughts.
All right.
Mm.
Anyone else? That's the end of my topic. So.
Audio
Cool.
mixing is usually not a big deal in games. I'm surprised that it's so messed up in this.
I don't know. It's mainly when you hit breakable objects that it's just so much louder than anything else in the game.
Weird.
Mm.
All right. Anybody else got any topics they want to cover here?
I don't really have a topic, but I have one really small thing. And when I say really small, it's like the smallest thing in the world. So let me just
Mm-hmm.
pull something up here. Oh joy, there it is. All right, so I never got anybody's scores for 12 minutes in the embargo breaks tomorrow, so should probably get those.
Oh, nice.
Ah.
Yeah, good thing I checked today. So I'm also going to do Riders Republic. For 12 minutes, Genesis, you want to go first?
12 minutes. 74.
74.
74.
All right. Desunoto, what are you thinking?
For 12 minutes.
Yes.
87.
87. All right.
Wow, all right.
7.
Kevin,
I think it's gonna be
73.
good.
what did you say, Kevin? 73.
73. Mm-hmm.
All
How
right.
you think it's going to be good?
Chakra said 84, and I said 88.
Wait,
Is it?
hold on. Wait, rewind. We're calling him Chakra this week?
Sure, why not?
All right, Chakra said 88. What'd you say, 84?
Yep, and I said 88.
Why are you guys giving it so high rating?
I mean, it could happen.
Who's
I think it's
who's
gonna
It's the
be
kind of game
good.
where it could go the other way.
I've been excited for this, if I'm honest. I'm a little upset it's not on PlayStation. Hopefully it comes eventually. Also,
Indeed.
it's made by Annapurna. They've been killing it with games. They're making Stray, or they're publishing Stray, so I hope this is just another one of theirs they just knock out of the park. This has like a huge Hollywood cast. It has an interesting concept. Every preview I've seen over the last 3 years has been cool and simple, and I think it's going to be up there. I don't know if it'll hit 88. I honestly think I'm a little low. It might honestly be in the 90s, but at the
Which
same
is
time,
wild.
like
It'll be the first game Annapurna has its name on that makes it that high. Most of those are in the 70 range.
it's true.
If I'm
It's
not
very
mistaken.
true. So,
But hey, if they can pull it off, good for them.
but everybody want to lock in their answers?
Yeah.
I'll lock it in.
All right, Desunoto, you locking it in?
88.
Wow, you're gonna match me. All right. All right, and then Riders Republic. Kevin, you want to start this one?
Oh, okay.
I know.
This one's a real
We can
tough
hold
one
off on
because-
this one until the beta comes out, and then we can talk
No,
about those
I-
impressions.
We could. I'm in it. I know that much.
So am I.
You are as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing with Riders Republic. I'm ready to score it. The problem is it going to be good enough online with multiplayer? And
So-
not have so many freaking connectivity issues.
Again, let's
remember who made
Yeah.
this game.
Okay.
Thank you.
I understand, but let's also remember.
Hold on. Let's put it up to a vote right now. Do we want to score this now, or do you guys want to wait until Kevin and I give our impressions of the beta, which is in
No,
couple weeks.
just score it now. It's
Score it
made
now?
by the same people who make every other pile of garbage that's not
You know
Rainbow
what?
Six Siege.
Kevin, hold off. Genesis, you go first. What do you want to give it then?
I'm giving it a 32.
Wow.
You want to give it a
Are you
32?
sure?
I'm sorry, that was way too generous. I'll give it a 5.
All right, 5 it is. Desunoto, what do you want to give it?
Hmm. 73.
73, all right. Kevin, what do you want to give it?
It looks so fun. I'm gonna go 81.
81. Okay. So, I gotta get Chakra's score. So mine, I'm somewhere in between Desunoto and Kevin. I want it to be good, but I can't see it getting above a 70. Like a 79. I can't see it out of the 70. I can't see it ever with an 80 something. I can't see it ever with a 90 something. Not only because is this online, everyone's experience is different, and I can't think of one online game that has recently launched that is really only online and it's gotten great scores and put it in
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s. Every game
Point.
that has come out, I think, is kind of like it's just cursed. So I'm giving it a 76. That's what I'm giving it.
Is that also a battle royale or
No.
not?
It's racing game.
I mean, it could.
Okay.
I mean, it technically is
I
a battle
thought
royale because you gotta
I
get to the
thought it was a
end.
battle royale.
Only
I
one
thought it
person
was a
wins.
battle royale. Yeah, I thought it
No,
was
it's
a
a
battle
racing game.
royale. I thought it was a racing battle royale, just like I explained
No.
that one day, and people called me stupid.
No, it's an open
No,
world racing game.
first of all,
You can
Okay,
unlock things for
but you have
exploring.
to. But you have to get right. But only certain amount of people will be awarded at the end. Like not everybody's gonna win at the end, correct?
that's how races work.
That's
Yes.
how races work, yes.
So
But
don't you get
like
eliminated out of that?
unlocking, no, you just lose a race. Like in that
There
regard,
might be
every
like
racing game is a battle
multiple
royale.
races, like a circuit, like in Mario Kart, which is
I
technically,
don't
I
think
guess,
there's gonna be tournaments, but I could be
there
wrong.
might be. Like, I mean, I would hope eventually they put that in. You know what I
But
mean?
they've definitely showed off that like you can just go through the world. There is a
Yeah.
segment of the gameplay reveal trailer where
Yep.
you are just like on a what do they call it? Is it a parasail? Is it a parachute? I don't know. Whatever
A
it is.
parasail, I think.
Yeah, parasail. You're
Yeah.
right.
And you just land on a cliff and you get like progress for unlocking things because you got a vista.
So there is an open world. So it's the crew, but with like, uh,
Sports.
yeah, sports. Yeah.
Red Bull Sports is what I call them.
Red Bull Sports. The crew, Red
Yeah.
Bull
Does
Sports
everyone want to lock their score in? Kevin, you're 81.
Edition.
Desunoto, you're 73. Me, am I 76? Genesis, I've already locked yours in. I said, are you sure?
You didn't ask me if I was sure. You
I
said, "Oh, we're going with a 5."
I said, you're going 5? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure?
You did not. You just added that in there. You did not ask, "Are you sure?" You immediately went over to ask Desunoto what his
Nope.
score was that you wanted.
I didn't know. Well, you said 32, and then I said, are you sure? And you said, no, I went too high. Give it a 5.
But you didn't ask me if I'm sure after that.
Well, I asked you if you were sure, so you already locked it in.
You asked that before I. All right, fine. Lock it in for 5.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even type it down. What are you putting?
Oh my god. 65.
Are you sure?
Yes, 65 is
I
good.
only heard 5, so I'm putting 5.
Oh god.
6.5. All right, that's what he wants to give it. Well, that's on him. All right, 65, 73, 81, and me is 76. All right, well.
So I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah.
PUBG 86, Fall Guys 81, Among Us 85.
I mean,
Yeah, but those were I get what you're saying. PUBG, that's way too high for PUBG. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That I don't know what the hell were
It
people
is,
on
but
back
that's what
then.
it got.
What were people on back then? Fall Guys.
No. Because PUBG got worse. The beta was arguably when it was the best.
Yeah, but sure. And then Fall Guys, it was fun, but I guarantee you, most of those reviews say the servers didn't work 90% of the time because that game launched broken. And there were a lot of technical issues. But people were like, it's such a fresh idea. I like it. I'm worried with this one, they'll be like, this is just an expanded Steep and it's broken. So that's why I can't go into the 80s or 90s.
It's probably what it's going to be because it's made by Ubisoft.
It's mostly also because it's a large publisher, and people will look at that and be like, what, this is a large publisher? Are you kidding me? What are you doing with this?
Also, because it's made by Ubisoft.
No.
All right, yeah, that's really all I had. I didn't really have too much about anything bad. If you cough, you can mute yourself. That's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat thing that people have done throughout time.
I'm gonna actually touch a couple things over here right now. I'm done touching things. Hang on, I'm gonna touch on a few things here. So Call of Duty Vanguard got announced for a actual reveal this Thursday. Sadly, though, nothing else got confirmed. So we are still left with the silent, stupid, ridiculous Sony that we have right now. When was the last time these idiots spoke? I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at this point.
Sure.
more than that, maybe.
I would
don't
assume
know.
it's more than that because 2-3 weeks ago
Uh,
doesn't seem that long.
yeah, no, I think it's more than that. Oh God, yeah, these morons, for lack of better words, that I can use. That's not gonna, that's okay for before 12 a.m.
There's a teaser trailer.
There's a
Yes, there
teaser
is a
trailer.
teaser. Yeah, there was a teaser trailer of Call of Duty Vanguard.
I'm watching it. Hold on.
So they're going backwards in time. Obviously, going back to one of the World War eras, and
I'll get
Battlefield
you the information in a
decides.
sec.
Yes, go ahead. Battlefield decides to go forward in time. It's very it's just real weird to me. And obviously, Battlefield now is signing with Xbox. I think at this point that's theirs, and Call of Duty is sticking with PlayStation. But it's so odd how they always seem to be complete opposite ends of the spectrum when they happen to have whenever they have to have their new games. Battlefield 5 versus Call of Duty Cold War. Um, Two different eras again. Like I don't know if I'd call those opposite sides, but um, Battlefield 1 with Modern Warfare would be more comparable because that was like really way back in time versus this is like modern day uh, gunplay and all that good stuff. Um, I don't know. I just find it very odd how they consistently just go back and forth with each other. Is this something that entices the public to say, "Oh, there's two different types of shooters. Let me go for this one versus this one"? Great. I love the answers already.
I'm sorry, I'm watching the trailer. Hold on.
I know you're watching the
Ooh,
trailer. There's
interesting,
two.
interesting. Okay, I got a lot to talk about with that bad boy. Anyway,
I, the only
I'm sorry.
question
What
that
was
I
the
asked
question?
was, it's just weird how Call of Duty and Battlefield kind of go back and forth with each other. They
Oh yeah, they've
they
been doing
always
that for a
seem
while.
to be just opposite sides of the spectrum, though, with like what they want to do,
Sure.
what they're advertising. The year that Call of Duty does modern stuff, it's the same year that Battlefield will go back into like World
Well,
War One.
isn't this also the same ones that did World War II? I can't remember anymore who did what.
Treyarch, don't they do the Cold
Treyarch is
War and Black
Black
Ops?
Ops. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just did it though.
So
But Cold
Infinity
War
Ward
just
would
came
do
out.
Modern Warfare, and who does?
I don't remember if it's Sledgehammer anymore. Hold on.
So wait, they
I'll
have
Google.
3 developers under their belt?
Yeah,
I don't ever remember how much they have.
There's like
I
6.
know.
Oh, now you just had to open your mouth? Okay, all right.
I had to pee and get Doritos. Guess which order?
Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer did World War II.
Oh,
So who's doing
Sledgehammer did World
Vanguard?
War II. I don't,
Look
I
them
don't
up.
know. I have no idea. But my main question was,
Vanguard
why do they do
is.
this? To have, I'm assuming just to entice the public into like, hey, I feel like playing in the past this year. I'm gonna choose this game, or I feel like playing modern or future type of gunplay. I'm gonna choose this game. Is it just to come like literally to combat with one another, or do they have like a formula that they decide they want to go with? That this year we're gonna do
Sledgehammer
this. This
again.
year we're gonna Sledgehammer.
So, I
Um,
mean, to your point, I think people are just like, what do we feel like doing when it comes to the Call of Duty series? Um,
they throw in a
but
dartboard like, oh yeah, we'll go with this
to
one
be
this year, guys.
fair, Treyarch has had their storyline thing going on with Black Ops, and I think that
Yeah.
bleeds into Cold War as well. Once that's
Yes.
over, who knows what they're gonna do next? Um, what you call it? The other company, Infinity Ward, they have like their more modern, slightly futuristic thing that they're doing, and Sledgehammer just came off of World War II, and that was kind of like a mixed opinion sort of deal. So they're probably honestly trying to just like do better, which I don't blame them. Give it a shot. World War II, in my opinion, still has a spot in first-person shooters. I know everybody always uses the argument of like, oh my God, we're going back to D-Day again, and I don't understand why they use that argument with Call of Duty because it makes no sense. Medal of
They
Honor
see it like
every day, every single Medal of Honor game that was World War II. You're on Omaha Beach. Call of Duty has yet to go to Omaha Beach. They might have done it with one game. Every other one,
oh,
you're somewhere else on D-Day.
But like Battlefield is doing 2042 this year. Obviously, they're going way in the future after Battlefield 5. You know, they're jumping
Well,
like
yeah,
centuries
where
ahead.
they're going so far into the future that destructible environments is no longer a thing. You just have tornadoes rip through towns and nothing happens. So when the year comes 2042, we won't have to fear the weather anymore. The weather will mean nothing. We'll transcended natural disasters.
Oh my god.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to point that out. I saw that and I was like, huh, okay. Um,
Yeah,
the main thing I was mentioning because of that is just the silence that we're seeing again from Sony. Obviously, it's just mind-boggling how stupid they can be,
I don't know.
where they just want to be quiet for everything. I think I've come
I
to the
mean, whatever.
conclusion where I think that they think that if it's better to stay quiet because they don't have to
It
deal
is.
with the internet and
Yeah,
they have to say a lot less.
yeah. That's exactly it. Every company is every major company has realized that, and that's why they're all, for the most part, quiet about everything.
But Microsoft
Because
doesn't
no
do
matter
that.
what they say, I mean, they get a lot of shit for it too. Uh,
I mean, this
Hey,
is.
hey, family show. You got 11 minutes.
all right.
I mean, this is true. I'm not going to argue that. This is true that they do get a lot of garbage for
The
that.
internet will
So,
always tear any comment apart, and that's the reality of it. But I mean, does that mean they should stay quiet? No, you should still have like some level of professionalism about it. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I've just grown to accept it, and I just don't care anymore. But that's me.
Sony just
no,
doesn't
that's
have
fine.
to speak.
I'm sorry, what?
They don't have to communicate every day. Xbox does. Xbox has to build their following back up. So
Oh, do they? Okay.
PlayStation is now one of the 10 brands that are recognized in the world. They're number 9 most
Oh,
recognized.
dang.
Yeah,
Nice.
PlayStation is huge. The PlayStation 5 is the fastest selling console with
Hmm.
the 10 million. It's the quickest to ever do that. Like it is like Sony doesn't need to speak. We would love for them to speak. Like Genesis and I especially, we would love if there was like every Friday some PlayStation dude was like, "Hey, this is what's going on at PlayStation. This is what we're doing." Honestly, if it was like, "Hey, first Tuesday of the month, you get your PlayStation Plus games and your monthly updates from PlayStation," I would love that. And they kind of used
Hmm.
to do that with Core, but Core's been dead for some years now.
Hmm.
It would be really nice if PlayStation talked. It would be great, but they realize that they don't have to do anything, and as soon as they have something that they want to say, they will say it. It will trend on Twitter. It will trend around the world. They will set a new record on most likes of an Instagram post when they just posted the logo for the PS5. Like
Hmm.
they they don't have to, and it sucks because I want them to, and they should. And I kind of hope Xbox continues this, but I think if Xbox gets into a place where they're happy, then they'll kind of slow down with okay, or if they post
Hmm.
something wrong, because they've had like little things, but they haven't had a huge backlash to anything they've posted. It's all been like,
Gotcha.
wow, their marketing team has won award after award because I follow a lot of like the Ad Week
Hmm.
like ad magazines where they like award them. They've
Hmm.
won so many marketing awards because of how well they are like just crushing it,
Okay.
just on their side. So it sucks.
Yeah, I'm
It's
just.
annoying,
Yeah.
but it's September.
I mean,
I assume is when the next conference is because that's when a previous PlayStation conference was. It'll be after Gamescom, and that's just my
Which
guess.
Does Gamescom start today or tomorrow?
Soon. I don't. It doesn't really matter. Opening night live is next Wednesday or something. So
Oh,
I mean, like I guess it's mostly just me. Like you say like, oh, Microsoft's talking all the time. I don't read any of it. I don't look into all that stuff. I go, let me see games. Oh, those games look pretty, and then I look up the games. I don't care like what the companies are necessarily doing, unless there's like some big announcement, and then I'll probably hear it through one of you. So,
yeah, understandable.
but I mean that's just me. Like I get where your frustration is, and what you just said makes total sense. Like yeah, we just want to hear 'em. We just want to hear what's going on. Okay, sure.
Cradle
Real
me.
quick before we start like going into other conversations, the Call of Duty Vanguard trailer. or teaser.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I am not 100% sure, and I am not saying any of this is exactly what I saw, but um, it appears that it's possible that we're going back to Africa, and I'm intrigued because there's definitely a lot of gravel and what appears to be like sand and mountains. Africa has only briefly been in the Call of Duty games before with World War II. I would love it if we went there. I believe the forest in Germany is the Ardennes. That's in like every game, so I'm fine with the Ardennes. Um, and then in the still frame, like the artwork, those are palm trees. I don't know where those would be unless we're in the Pacific, but I don't know if Pacific Islands all have that. It's like kind of just a thing where like, oh yeah, palm trees are on islands. I don't know if that's actually true or not though. um, so this could be all encompassing again, which would be real cool because that's kind of what Call of Duty 2 did, and that was my favorite campaign to play through because you started as the Soviets, and then you went to the British, then you went to the Americans, and you played in
Soviet Russia.
very different areas all throughout the campaign. I would love to experience something similar to that again because I think it's been a hot minute since Call of Duty did a multi-part campaign like that where you got to fight on different fronts, which is really only true in World War II.
Yeah. A Vanguard is something in World War II, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
Part of the
definitely true.
Soviet-German War, something to do with the Red Army and stuff.
I did not see any Soviets in any of that, but
Oh,
possibly.
I'm just talking about the actual history of Vanguard. Well, I know it comes from like the en garde French meaning of like medieval warfare or something. That's just
Oh,
the
I
history of the
just
word.
thought it was a word. Okay.
So
I thought that it was just kind of like a subtitle they threw on there. Maybe it'll have some meaning. I don't know.
I would assume it'll have some meaning because Cold War had meaning. Every other game they put out usually has some sort of meaning.
Hmm. Well, yeah, well, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, we'll see. Also,
I'm
didn't
excited.
this one confirm they won't have a campaign?
No, that was
Did they?
Battlefield.
I thought
Yeah,
Call of Duty
Battlefield did.
also announced they won't have a campaign because when Battlefield announced they wouldn't have one, a lot of articles said following suit is Call of Duty.
That was,
That
I
would
think, following
suck.
suit from Cold War. Cold War. No, Cold War had a campaign.
Cold War did. Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah, no, they didn't say anything about this having a campaign or
I
not.
don't think
I
anybody
don't.
said anything about this game.
No, Battlefield was the only one that said they wouldn't have a campaign.
Oh, all right. Well,
It says from Gaming Intel, which I think is a reliable Call of Duty source, but I could be wrong. Call of Duty Vanguard campaign, 4 main characters and villains leaked.
all right. Well, there you go.
I'll put another tip in the jar that says Adam's
However,
always right.
Gfinity Esports has said that there has been no official word on campaign or not. Just leaks and rumors that there will be a single player story.
Sure, sure.
Hmm.
So I don't know what you're thinking of. I'm sure there's another game other than Battlefield.
I have a lot of money in this
I
tip
don't know.
jar. Tip jar's real full.
You're a tip
Oh
jar. Tip
no.
that jar over, refill it.
Oh yeah. Um,
Anyway.
Another thing I
Also,
want
I
to
have
point out
no
too.
idea what the faces thing was all about in that teaser trailer, unless like
Faces?
we're gonna, yeah, every single like bit they had, like different areas, it always ended with like some dude's face. Either it was in like the barbed wire or it was on like a tarp. There was one like I think in the trees or some craziness. But like I don't know, maybe we're gonna have like actual characters again too, like how
Is this
Modern
gonna do a
Warfare had like
Battlefield 5
continuing
thing where
characters.
like you go through each different like
Oh God, I hope not.
dude's life or something? Was that what it's gonna be like?
I hope not. Like
Oh god,
it
that
was
was
kind of cool, but it doesn't really fit the Call of Duty
no,
thing. I would
it
like
doesn't.
Call of Duty to come not come back, but like the Infinity War people. I don't know if they have continuing characters in the Advanced Warfare stuff, but like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, you had the same continuing characters. Black Ops,
Isn't there
same
like a
continuing
rumor that they're
characters.
remaking Modern Warfare 2, like how they did
There's
Modern
always
Warfare
rumors for that.
1, and then Modern Warfare 3 Remastered is supposed to come out sometime next year or something?
They friggin' better remaster the second game before they remaster the third game. I'm just saying that.
Well, the
They
second
should have
one is
already
already,
remastered the second game.
yeah, that's already been remastered. But I'm talking about
No,
the
it hasn't.
remake, like how they did, yeah, Modern Warfare 2. That the
No,
single player's been remastered.
that's it.
Right, yeah. They don't. That would be a remake for the like how they did remade Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
It was a remaster. It wasn't a
No,
remake.
that was a So there's a remaster, and then there's like a remake slash reboot. So the
remaster
remaster
of
was
Modern
the single
Warfare
player, right? Single player
had
only.
multiplayer. Mmm.
Where
I
did it
played
have?
Call of Duty multiplayer again, and it was just as garbage as it was the first time around because they friggin'
Hold on.
P90 and martyrdom.
Hold on. Are we talking about? Wait, no, because this
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
the remaster only had single player in it. Modern Warfare remaster,
Look it up.
and then they made Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 years ago. No, 2 years ago, right before Cold War.
I think we looked this up before.
I feel like we have.
And I think you were right, Genesis. But I don't know.
Because Modern Warfare had a remaster, which is single player only. Then they made Modern Warfare the game, which had a single player, the Warzone.
Modern Warfare, the remake had
Okay.
only multiplayer. There was no single player campaign. Then there was the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remaster, which also had the multiplayer because I played it. I played in the beta for it too. They're two completely different games with both having multiplayer.
But the Call of Duty Modern Warfare on PS4 had a single player battle royale and multiplayer and Spec Ops.
Okay.
But then
Modern Warfare Remastered features an updated version of the multiplayer mode that shares similarities with those featured in later Call of Duty games. It includes the same weapons, kill streaks, rewards gained, and allows players to locate opponents or call in military aircraft to attack them. Do you want me to
what?
keep reading? It existed. I
Oh
don't know what
my
your problem is. I played it. I got up to
god!
like level 27. I know it existed.
All right, well, Kevin,
You can
I'm
check my
sorry.
games. It should
No,
be
no,
logged
no,
somewhere.
no, no, Kevin, no, it's
They
okay.
also put prop hunt into the game. Apparently, didn't know that. Must have came later.
Prop hunt?
It did come later. I do remember that being announced.
Sorry, I apologize.
I didn't
I
know they
was
actually
wrong.
did the single player though. I thought they only did the multiplayer, but there was the multiplayer beta that I played, so you know.
The thing I was thinking of, by the way, it was a rumor back in May. With it not having a single player. Also because Black Ops 4 didn't have a single player. And they
Black Ops 4
assumed.
did not. That's correct.
Yeah. And since pandemic and stuff, people were just assuming it wouldn't. And then,
Gotcha.
yeah. So.
That's right. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, but then Cold War, I think, put it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to remember all this shit now.
Yeah, as you get older, your memory just starts to
1201, good for you. That's okay.
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to mention before I get into rumors, Cyberpunk has dropped down to $10 in Best Buy for obviously today only. A lot of people were posting up on Twitter and across forums that it's only been 8 months since this game's come out, which I think they also announced a 1.3 patch coming for it as well, something like more optimization, more things happening.
Did you see the headlines for that? Where they're like DLC?
People, I also saw a quote that one of them said that people don't understand that it's really hard to make patches after a game's been like released, and I'm like,
you shouldn't have released it.
You should, yeah. I don't understand. Why did you send the game out if you now need to put patches in there? No, what? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, $10. A lot of people were like, "Wow, this was a $60 game that people were so excited about not even a year ago, 8 months ago, right? At this point, and it has gone down to $10. What does that say about like the not the current state of like that game in general, but like just how fast something can depreciate that was like supposed to be valued so much when it initially came out, and then it just tanked.
I would say it says a lot, but I would say it does not matter because that game sold like 13 million copies the first week. So
That's why it's gone down by so
yeah,
much. I don't know much about economics, so Adam, you know more. Feel free to jump in.
I,
But like because so many people bought it immediately, or as close to immediately as you want to call it, the demand's already been met. Now it's just a
I
supply thing. There's so
I
much supply out there that the price is coming down.
also I think if it was good, I think it would have continued to sell. Like
Right.
GTA
And
5,
it didn't.
that continues to sell because they keep improving the online. Well, they add more to it. I wouldn't say improve really.
Well, yeah, and the modding community is also
Yeah,
going bananas on it.
yeah, and some to the detriment of the community in GTA Online. But there's also the role playing stuff. A lot of people do. There's a lot of role playing servers.
It's huge.
Some of that
Lot
stuff
of
is
role
really
playing, yeah.
funny.
Really big.
Yeah,
It's huge on Twitch too.
it's
Some of the
huge
players in that have
everywhere.
thousands.
It is huge on YouTube. It is huge on YouTube Live, YouTube Shorts. It's on TikTok. It is all over the place. But that's a game where that game came out, didn't have multiplayer. They finally launched the multiplayer 2 months after original release back in 2013. Put heists in a year later, and then just have been adding DLC and content, and then a new version, adding DLC and content. No Man's Sky is another one. That game's price dipped, but now when you go to buy it, it's still almost $60 most of the time. But
Yeah,
every
look how much
update
stuff
is
they
still
added.
free. Every update to
Yeah.
that game has been free, and they've had 12
Mm.
major updates. So
And they keep putting more out.
if this game came out and it was good, then I think this game could have sold 60 million copies within the first year. I think it really could have sold like crazy. I think it could have kept doing like 13 million the first month, 5 million the next month, and then hold that 5 million for a while. If it came out and it actually was what they promised. But instead it came out, it was a wet turd, stuck to the wall, slowly slid down, and now it's $10. And the DLC that has been put out, it's some jackets and a car. It's free in that patch. People are like, this should have been here in the beginning. This game sucks. It'll remain $10, and then when the next gen versions come out in 2042, when tornadoes don't destroy houses anymore, can't wait.
That's right.
Yeah, this will be like, hey, remember Cyberpunk? And people will be like, what'd you say? No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. It'll be lost and forgotten.
Side
And
note,
everybody be like,
we
Abandoned
should-
3, let's go.
Guys, listen, I am so ready for Abandoned 3, man. I can't even wait for Abandoned 3. It's gonna be Silent Hill 3. I can't wait. Anyway,
Hell's Abandoned 3?
We're in the
I'm
year
gonna get a
2042.
copy.
Keep up, come on.
On the side note, I think it'd be a cool idea if we did a roleplay session in GTA 5 online whenever it comes to PlayStation 5 as an episode for Crafting a Chat. That'd be fantastic, I think.
I would never play that with you. I've heard bad things.
What?
Think about it, you'll get it.
Is it because it's an immature game? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it was you. Remember how Giuseppe and Chakra would always complain how you were the worst in that game? The RPG'd everything?
Oh, yeah, I did. Those were good times. I should have just RPG'd Giuseppe when I had the chance, and I didn't take the shot.
Wow.
I should have. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it'd be fun to do in there. I won't RPG everything this time, obviously, but I think it'd be fun if we do.
Yeah, you won't, because we won't be in it. Sorry. Anyways, keep going.
Anyway, let me move on to rumors now, since I know Kevin's been waiting for one of these rumors since we started this podcast. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start out with here is a rumor based for QuakeCon 2021. So, a Quake Revitalized edition has been leaked from a description on the QuakeCon website. A description of the Let's Talk Quake event at QuakeCon has been accidentally revealed, which says, in quotations, Quake is back. In this special stream, John Linneman from Digital Foundry talks
no way!
talks to Jerk Gustafsson of Machine Games about the title's iconic legacy and what it meant to both of them. The pair will also discuss the additional content Machine Games have contributed to this revitalized edition. It has since been taken down. Unsure of what exactly a revitalized edition could mean, if it's the name of it, then we can assume it's a remaster. If it's just a general term, it could easily be a remake. The rumor from Sheepshill Nick claimed it was co-developed by Machine Games, which is now confirmed to be correct. Yet it also said it was a reboot. The wording isn't exactly clear. Perhaps there are two different projects, one being a reboot, the other being a remaster slash reboot, a remake of the game. According to the leaker's opinion, even if it was just a remaster of Quake, they think this does throw more fuel on the fire of there being a Quake reboot. It means that Machine Games and ID are already working together, just like the rumor said, and remastering one right after two would be a great way to get people into the series, especially if a reboot takes on the Quake 1 style.
Okay, that was a lot of words. I'm
Sorry,
gonna jump right
a
in.
lot of rumors. Go ahead.
All right. First of all, please God, no, don't just remaster Quake One, because Id can do that. I would love it if Machine Games did a remake for Quake in the vein of their Wolfenstein remake or reimagining or whatever you want to call it, because that was great. Loved it. And they took some artistic license, they took some ideas and ran with them, and like at its core, it's still very much a Wolfenstein game, but they made it their own thing, and it was awesome. Um, Quake is a very different game than Wolfenstein, but I have the utmost faith in Machine Games with what they did with that game. I think they do pay attention to the original source material, but I would love for them to just go nuts. Give me your version of Quake. I'm ready. Because the thing about Quake is, if you look at Quake throughout the years, Quake 1 was kind of like a more gothic horror first person shooter, not like, jump scares horror game, but like you had a gothic horror sort of atmosphere and tone to like the environment. And it was just first person shooter similar to like Doom and Heretic. Quake 2, you had a little bit more of like a mission um, progression. So you had objectives that you would do in every level. Ultimately, kind of boiled down to the same thing, but they sort of like tweaked the gameplay a little bit with that. Quake 3 came out, that was multiplayer only, and then Quake 4 was like the super futuristic game that was kind of weird, had a lot of mixed reviews, if I remember right, and was sort of okay, but I think a Machine Game sticks to the formula of Quake 1 and 2, stays in the gothic horror sort of like vibe, and maybe even tries to go a little further with the atmosphere, make it a little darker without turning it into a flashlight sim like what Doom 3 was, because we don't acknowledge that game. No, never happened. Um,
Why? Why don't we?
no, Doom 3 never happened.
Oh, okay,
Um,
all right, it didn't happen. Okay.
because 90% of that game was you walk around with a flashlight, and you can't have the flashlight out with the gun. They made an entire edition of this game, the BFG edition, which allowed you to have the flashlight out with a gun. All right, that should clue you in.
Oh.
um, so yeah, no, I hope that it's not just a remaster because when Doom 2016 became like super popular and before Doom Eternal came out, they just were like, you know what? Here's Doom 1, here's Doom 2. And then they released extra mission packs, which John Romero is doing again. So for Doom 1,
Ooh.
he released Sigil, which you can download on consoles or PC, because it's on everything they like re-released Doom onto basically. And now he's making Sigil 2, which is going to be built on the Doom 2 engine and should be available just like everything else to just check out. So I'm excited to get to play that. But they could easily do that with Quake. They could have Quake 1 and the mission packs for that, Quake 2 and its mission packs. I don't know if you need to do 4, but 1 and 2, oh, great games. They would hold up to the test of time just like Doom 1 and 2. And that's
Okay.
my spiel. Sorry, long-winded.
No. Please, this is the topic you were waiting to do, man. You're all good.
I'm so excited. Although I would really, really like, let's say, going forward, let's say that Machine Games does revitalize Wolfenstein. Well, they did revitalize Wolfenstein, right? Now they're given the chance to revitalize Quake, and let's say they actually do get the artistic license to like run with some ideas. They got to do Heretic next, Heretic and Hexen, because technically they're the same game. They got to go there next, and I want it to be a full open world RPG because that'd be so freaking cool. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the Diablo? No, oh my God, the Diablo. I'm reading the word Diablo on my phone. Oh God, the Quake remaster slash reboot slash remake slash revitalization.
I hope it's real for Kevin's sake. That's
Just
it.
like how you hope Abandon is not a scam for me. I appreciate that, Adam. You're such a nice guy.
I saw an interview with that guy where he was like, I feel bad. People keep calling us a scam and it hurts. It makes me depressed. And I'm like, what a scam. I hope that guy listens to this.
I need to just see it's Silent Hill. If it's not,
It's not.
I guess it's fine if it's not Silent Hill.
It's not. It's not fine. It's not. It's not. It's not fine. It's not okay. I'm not okay. I'm upset.
Honestly, at this point, though, it's basically living up to its name. Abandoned real-time experience. It is the real-time experience of being abandoned.
I have seen too many of that joke to laugh, even as a friend.
It was on the blog. We're not going to talk about this now. Let me move on to the next thing.
Wait, hold on. Desunoto, do you have anything to talk about with Quake?
Quaking in your boots from excitement.
I'm gonna come.
I do not. I didn't really play Quake that much at all. I think
they make good oatmeal.
No, it's Quicker.
Quaker.
Is Quake have anything to do with the Unreal Tournament games? Are they based off of Quake, like the Unreal Tournament games?
So I don't know. Let me look up the years real quick. I want
Because
to
they're
say
very
that there's
similar.
a chance Unreal Tournament is based off Quake 3 Arena, but that's it.
Yeah, because they're very similar play style. Like,
Do you think
zoom?
Do you think people in Haiti will play Quake, or do you think they got their fill?
Wow.
Oh God.
I just want everyone in Haiti to. I hope everyone who lives and stuff. It was an awful joke, but at the same time, like, hey, donate to Haiti, help how you can.
Don't help Haiti. Don't donate to them. I'm going to kill Giuseppe. I'm going to murder him and his family.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
I'm going to
What the hell happened? Stop it!
And I'm going to stab him multiple times. We're all set.
All right, hold on a minute. So, I tried to look up everything with Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament. Fun fact, they came out in the same year.
Ah.
So, I don't know.
Nobody's based on anything. Everything's fake.
There'd be no possible way, I don't believe anyway, that they could have influenced each other and still came out in the same year. Because, like, development time would match up. I think they just both had a...
Or they were, like, friends and stuff. Because back then, they didn't really share information. Or developers, really. Because back then in the day, they didn't really do all that stuff.
Right. I will say I don't know anything at all about Unreal, because they had a single-player game as well called Unreal, and I think there was Unreal 2 as well. But I heard
they made an engine.
I only played Unreal Tournament. There is also
an engine to put into a car so I can run over Giuseppe one of these days.
Yeah, again, stop with the death threats against real people.
Listen.
Any other rumors, or or just more schemes?
You goddamn sons of bitches. Okay.
Whoa! How dare you assume we're all sons?
Sorry, I should have been more inclusive.
Don't do it. Don't do that joke. Move on to your rumors. Don't. No. Move on to rumor. Next rumor, please.
A World War VII is about to happen because
transgender
and all this.
What?
All this just has to take an effect.
No. We don't make jokes like that. Be nice.
So we can make jokes about Quakes in Haiti, but we're not going to make jokes.
That was a word joke. All right? That's okay.
You are
There was some cleverness behind that. You just want to be a dick.
Nothing clever about that, okay? And I will help I will help no one in anything. I hope everybody just burns. Nobody needs help.
You trying to hug him?
I don't.
Is this what you
Nope.
want? Is this what you
Glass.
want? Huh? Is this what you want?
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. That's exactly what I want.
Hey, hey,
What?
hey.
Oh, we have
Help
help
me.
now. Oh God.
Help me. Why am I inside the table?
It's on you. It's on you.
All right.
Hey,
Next rumor up here. So this is something I think we didn't get to talk about last week because I think it came out like 2 days after the podcast. So the rumor is that Rockstar is working on a remaster of all 3 classic Grand Theft Auto games.
We did talk
All
about
these
this.
oh, we just talked about that.
I thought this was posted after.
If it was, we have magical abilities to talk about it. It was confirmed after that they are doing 3 remakes, but the rumor we talked about, we already went through all that.
Okay, so this is the next part to that rumor.
Oh, okay.
A couple additional details to this is there's PC and mobile ports that are apparently going to slip into 2022. Rockstar Dundee is apparently the one leading the development. And all 3 are to be sold in one package, digital only, no physical copies of this. There's also another a report that mentions Rockstar has plans to remaster the original Red Dead Redemption, depending on how well the GTA trilogy remasters do.
Wait, the original Red Dead Redemption, not
Yeah.
Red Dead Revolver?
No,
Red Dead Redemption,
not Revolver.
not Revolver.
Revolver doesn't count anymore.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just seemed like if they were going back to GTA 1 and 2 to try to
If
bring
you
it
ask,
back into those, they would go back to Red Dead
if you
Revolver.
ask people, 99% of them would be like Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2 are the only 2 Red Dead games. They would not know about Revolver.
Oh, okay.
I also did not know about it until
Yep.
somebody told me.
Yep.
I didn't play any of them, but like I just knew it was
Oh,
good.
1 is great. Oh, 1's so good. 1's one of my all-time favorite games.
The one was really good, yeah.
Good DLC, Undead Nightmare. I'd play that again. I used to play
didn't
that every
play
Halloween. I played it for like 6 Halloweens.
That's a lot of Halloweens.
Yeah, it's been 28 my life.
Or not,
So.
but every year you're alive. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of Halloweens. By the way, I didn't mention this last week, and I thought about it as the week went on. These could just be Switch ports, and I hope that's not the case.
The GTA remasters?
Yeah, like if they did like hey, this is Vice City, San Andreas, and 3. Here you go. Because they've been on, like, they're on PlayStation 4. You can play those already. The collections of those. So.
Right, but those aren't the remasters. Those are just like the releases of the original games. Those are not remasters. This would be a remaster of those games, like high-res graphics, things like that.
Let's be honest with each other. A lot of companies call things remasters that shouldn't be called remasters.
I understand that. I'm not saying. I'm just giving you the differentiator between what you're saying and what they're saying.
But what am I saying?
A lot of stuff, Kevin. Any other thoughts on this?
Especially if it's about Quake.
I got another one here. So,
I'm ready.
this is 2 rumors in one here because it's about the same exact thing.
Double jeopardy.
Tom Henderson apparently is saying that there are 16 maps that are going to be 6v6 for Call of Duty Vanguard that are scheduled for launch. On top of that,
Damn.
Vanguard's going to have its own mini battle royale mode with Warzone mechanics, and it'll be across 4 different maps.
All right.
I'm intrigued.
16's a lot. Good for them.
I would say
16 maps
16 is
really
quite a bit.
That's going back to like the original games and how many maps they had.
That's when you barely updated games, you know. That's why they had to put so many out.
But even still, like
it's nice.
You should still be able to develop that many, like from the start, and then come up with more.
True.
Like Rainbow Six Siege has a dumb amount of maps now. What you call it? So you said read the Warzone part again.
So, Call of Duty Vanguard will have its own mini battle royale mode with Warzone's mechanics. It'll be across 4 different maps or 4 maps.
Mini battle royale across 4 maps. That's interesting because if what I was speculating on is anything remotely close to what's going on in this game, you could have Europe, Africa, Russia, and the Pacific as your battle royale maps.
Depends on how big those battle royale maps are. I think. I mean, what's the?
Well, I mean, they don't have to be that big. I'm just saying, like, you can be in those regions. So, like, God, what in the Pacific would be good? Maybe the Philippines? Um,
Oh, then we could actually put that song to actual use, huh? Oh
that's
God.
right. And then Africa, oh God, there's so many different engagements that happen in Africa. You could pick a whole
Right,
bunch of
right.
cities in there. Europe, oh, the Ardennes Forest would be amazing for a battle royale map because that's dense from what I'm aware of. And then Soviet Union, I mean Leningrad, Stalingrad, a city would be neat. That's actually kind of a good point too. If they are doing multiple fronts, whether it be single player or just multiplayer maps or whatever, you can actually have very different battle royale maps too. You could have a super dense forest if you go in the Ardennes. You can have a city when you're in the Soviet Union because Leningrad, Stalingrad. Um, Africa is mostly open desert, but there's like sandstone buildings and stuff. And then the Pacific is like whole different ball of wax. You could have islands and like boats. Could be really real neat. Anyway, that's speculation there.
Hmm. Oh,
You know what I
that's
mean though? Like those are
yeah,
super
yeah.
varied maps. I don't know that a battle royale has really done that yet. PUBG would be the closest, I think, right?
Okay, yeah. They would be the closest, yeah.
Well, maybe Apex, but Apex, there's a lot more like variation within the map itself.
I don't think it's gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be like that.
It might not be. I'm just pipe dream.
A very long, thin pipe that's brittle and it's breaking and it's rusting.
Hey!
Um,
Target already went through that. All right, we don't need to talk about
any other thoughts on this? Okay. I'm gonna go over to the next one here. I, I think I had mentioned this maybe a week or two ago. The Twisted Metal revival coming in 2023, according to Tom Henderson.
that. Interesting. I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a tweet that he has here, and I'm gonna see if I can find the tweet here. Oh, it's literally 2023 and has a picture of Twisted Metal.
There you go. Simple enough.
Um, yeah.
This
I
is a real
mean,
ballsy move, in my opinion.
because
There's more to
Twisted Metal
this.
came back. Huh?
There should be more to this.
I clicked on the link and it just has the picture of Twisted
No,
Metal in
this
2023.
popped up last week after the cast, so we never talked about it.
Right, and then Andy Robinson says awkwardly, it's been suggested to me that the Twisted Metal revival is real. Following yesterday's rumor of some sort of Twisted Metal revival, David Jaffe said that he'd be very hurt if Sony was indeed doing it without him being involved in some way. VGC's Andy Robinson has now said that it's been suggested to him that the Twisted Metal is indeed being revived, according to his Twitter.
Because it was two things that were rumored. It was Twisted Metal and something Wipeout, maybe?
No, Sly Cooper 5.
Well, oh, was it Sly Cooper?
Sly Cooper 5, which I think we had went over that last week.
We did go over that. Okay, that's what it was.
That's
okay.
why.
Right.
That's why I didn't touch that.
Got it. You're killing it. You're fucking killing it right now. Good for you.
So back on my comment, that's a real ballsy move to try to bring that game back in.
I think the last time they did Twisted Metal was what, 2013? No,
yeah, and it failed.
And
it failed.
It wasn't good. And here's the thing: this genre of game hasn't existed for years. Like you gotta knock this out of the park and convince people that this is a real genre again.
Let me tell you what, though. If somebody would make it, I would guess it would be the Ultimate Destruction people.
Now hold on. Yeah, didn't All Stars?
All Star. Yeah. Wait, what the hell is it called?
Destruction All Stars. You want to
PlayStation.
talk about that game?
No, not
Destruction
no.
All Stars
Destruction
Battle
All Stars.
Royale.
That's it. Just Destruction All Stars.
Didn't they try to do this and it didn't work?
It's not really a Twisted Metal, but it's car combat,
what?
but it's not really Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
So
it's
okay,
not
so the difference between this and Twisted Metal is that Twisted Metal you get like a bunch of different arsenals and the cars are
Yeah.
more. It's all about
Yeah.
destruction rather than like racing or anything like that.
Yeah, the one called Twisted Metal is more about destruction than the one called Destruction All Stars. Don't ask me why, but yeah, I would get that would suck. I kind of feel bad for David Jaffe, but at the same time, he made God of War, and we moved on from him as well. But I think they kind of got his permission, and he was like, "Yeah, you keep going. I'm fine with that."
Interesting.
So that would suck if they made that and kind of left him in the dust. But yeah, he made Twisted Metal. I think it was 2013 or somewhere around there. And then they also made Drawn to Death by him, and that didn't do well either. So they
Now to Kevin's point though, this has been a genre that just doesn't
exist.
seem to sell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, there was.
this hasn't been a good
height of
game in the
Twisted
genre.
Metal. There's the height of Twisted Metal 2, Vigilante 8, Vigilante 8 2, and then there were other titles in I think both of those series, but they just never were good past the first two.
I think this genre could sell. I don't think it'll ever be like a blockbuster genre. Like, don't get me wrong, but
No.
I think it can find a pretty large audience if it makes a good game. A car combat game a free-to-play car combat game, it could be a battle royale if you really wanted it to.
No.
I know. I guarantee you people would play that, and that's really what we thought Destruction All-Stars would be. That game was jank, driving a jankmobile in Jankland. That game's been updated so much, and they still don't have music while you're driving. You still don't understand that.
Oh yeah, I heard Mystics talk about that too.
Yeah, so I'm like, what?
What?
That's weird, but
What
yeah.
game doesn't have a background music in that
Yeah.
situation?
Very strange.
I don't know that this is like a good call, but you know what? If they want to give it a shot, give it a shot. Just don't expect much because I don't think you're gonna get all that much, even if you do make a real solid game.
Make it an RPG like the game Road Trip.
I don't know about that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you do. That's the game I made my British account for, so I could buy it on the PlayStation Store. I went through like 2 days of like setting stuff up. I have a British address and everything, so I could purchase it.
Gosh.
The whole thing. It was the whole thing. I played it once for like an hour, and then I was like, I'm done. I should play that again. That game's fun.
Okay, next one. Remedy, AAA game, rumored to be Alan Wake 2 enters full production. Apparently, they're in development with Epic Games. It is according to their recent fiscal report that this game is in full development now.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Well, Alan Wake 2 was already announced.
Alan Wake 2 was announced?
Yeah.
When was that?
A while ago. We talked about it on this podcast.
I don't think it was officially announced. It still says a rumor, according to whatever this
It's a rumor that it's now in full production.
Yeah, it wasn't announced then. Yeah, it says the rumored Alan Wake 2. They keep using the word rumored Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, back in April it was reported it was planned. So it's and then everyone on Twitter freaked out about it.
Yeah, so it's not confirmed yet then. Okay.
And then back in May they said it's going to enter full production soon, and now it's entering full production. So it's
not confirmed.
It's not, but it is.
No. You sound like me right now. Shut your mouth.
Whoa.
Alright, we're going to talk after this.
you do sound like. Oh god. Okay. Any other thoughts on that one?
Well, Alan Wake 2 would be real awesome. And I'm not saying that I would totally not buy that game day one. Kind of hoping it's also Control too. Just throwing it out there. Control was a real good game.
A sequel to Control. Okay, a lot of
Well,
people were saying that in the
Control
comments.
has now over 10 million players, so I would assume they are making a Control sequel.
Yes.
A lot of people are saying that they want this to be like a combination of Alan Wake and Control, but
Well, they technically did that already too, so that's not out of the question. Because the last DLC for Control was Alan Wake.
oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it
if
was real fun.
Alan Wake 1 remaster probably coming to PlayStation. So if this is the case,
Yes, I
I
already
thought
have
that was
Alan
an
Wake on Steam.
Xbox exclusive game. Is that now
it
done on
was an
Xbox?
Xbox exclusive, but Xbox doesn't do the same thing PlayStation does most of the time. Remedy owns the IP.
Yep.
That's why
I think should
even the Insomniac game, the Project Sunset Overdrive or whatever the hell it was called,
and now
it's
that
owned
comes
by
to PlayStation.
Insomniac. Yeah, PlayStation they used to do that. That's why like they don't own Crash anymore. I mean, I think they still owned it, but then they sold it to Activision. But yeah, they own the IPs. So if any of their developers leave, they don't leave with their IPs.
PlayStation should buy Remedy. That would be a smart move for them, I think.
Oh, that'd be huge. Yep.
That would be
It could
big, yeah.
definitely.
No, that would be big, but they have a good
Yeah.
relationship with them, especially since they're with Epic. Sony has a good relationship with Epic still, even after that court case somehow.
I don't know about Epic. I would think a Remedy would be a good buy as a developer to have under their wing.
I would assume offers are already on the table for them, and I would guess they've been declined by Remedy. They want to remain their own, similar to Bungie.
I mean, being under
Fair.
Sony though, you have access to Sony. That's well. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Let me talk about the next one here. So this
Ready?
is a one that has been, I think, I don't know. It's been talked about quite a bit today. The Battle Royale map that has been data mined from The Last of Us Part 2. Apparently, Factions 2, which is what we're just assuming the name would be for the multiplayer version of The Last of Us 2, is going to feature a Battle Royale mode. And this is according to YouTuber Specklizer, responsible for a series of videos about the franchise on his channel. He got some feature assets discarded from Last of Us Part 2 that indicate the multiplayer mode would have a map large enough to be used in a battle royale.
That's pretty enormous compared to what their maps are right now.
I haven't seen a picture of this map, but I'm assuming it's very big.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have like a decent sized map for Battle Royale.
Okay,
There's no
so
really.
if they were to put Battle Royale as an addition to the multiplayer, I would be happy. If they just gave us Battle Royale, I wouldn't be happy with that. I don't want Last of Us, Factions 2 to just be a BR. That's not what I would want. I mean, I don't know. What's everybody else's thoughts on this?
Battle
I don't
Royales
think
need
we
to
need it.
die.
I agree with that. They
Like,
They
it's
really
such a
do.
unique multiplayer.
Like, Battle Royale is just being horseshoed into everything now, and it's real
Yeah.
freaking annoying. Because not every game needs to have it, and
Thanks, Minecraft.
most of the time, like, it's not even all that great because they're like grasping at straws to like try to use what they have in their core multiplayer experience in the battle royale while also being whatever's at the top at the current time. So I guess Warzone at this point, like everybody's going to try to be like that, but their core multiplayer games are not going to have everything that they need to be that, and then it gets real jank when in the battle royale. That's
Yeah,
my
because
2 cents.
everybody's internet connection is just not ideal. So it's
I
just
mean, I
not.
guess there's that too, sure.
Yeah, it's not fun to play Battle Royale like that. I don't know. Battle Royale when initially came out, like when we started playing Cursed, that was fun. But
I mean, yeah,
and don't get me wrong, I'll go back to Cursed with you, no problem.
yeah, we'll go back. We'll
Um,
go back.
but I don't want to continuously play a battle royale. It's just not something that I really want to invest a lot of time into.
Apex
Any
is
of the
my favorite, but
I think it's
like
because that's so diverse of a battle royale. That's one of
it's
the few
so
examples
different
of
than
like,
most. It is.
yeah, it's not just traditional battle royale. It's very different.
And
So I think that's what sets it apart.
it's also quicker and not as like the thing with like PUBG, Blackout kinda. I never played Warzone, but I played some Blackout. Um, you spend a bunch of time like getting all this stuff, getting armed, getting ready, and then you die, and you're like, wow, I accomplished nothing. Whereas Apex Legends, you drop, you have stuff about 85% of the time. You got enough to like defend yourself. You get into a firefight, you die, you're like, well, damn, alright, let's try again. Like, you're not defeated when you die in Apex, and I don't know why. I don't know a better way of explaining it than that. It's just like there's not a ton of I gotta loot like 20 different places or go in like the hottest area to get gear and stuff that's good enough to last me to the end. Anything in Apex Legends can get you to the end. It's just how well you use it. That makes sense? Did I
That
explain
makes
that well?
sense. No,
Okay.
that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. I think I got one more, and that's it. Yep, one more, and that's it.
Aww.
It's gonna be I don't really want to talk about that actually.
Do it.
We might.
Mike Lowry from Bad Boys is coming to Fortnite with Will Smith's likeness.
What?
The character Mike Lowry from the film Bad Boys, portrayed by Will Smith, is coming to Fortnite.
Alright.
Also, Chris Hemsworth from the movie Extraction, whatever character he played in that, is also going to be in Fortnite.
Extraction, man.
Yeah.
That movie, pretty
That's
solid. A little too long. Has really cool action, though. So, I recommend.
Fortnite also has an imposters mode and has all of Season 8 and beyond leaked out on 4chan.
Yep.
Interesting. Alright.
I see
That's
why you
it.
didn't want to talk about this.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
It was a good,
Yeah.
it was a good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
So, no more?
That's it. That's all I got.
Alright.
You know what? No, I got a bonus one here.
Alright.
Netflix is apparently developing a Dishonored adaptation.
Oh, God.
Honestly, I think it would work better than a game. I just.
No real detail in this. There's just a post on Reddit about like I don't know if this is speculation or like actual like things that rumors that are being talked about here. I don't know if it's just personal speculation if somebody's just posting up here. I'm gonna leave it to personal speculation. I don't think that's actual like rumor. So yeah, rumor is just Netflix is developing a Dishonored adaptation. On what? On where? On what part of
Netflix,
Dishonored? I have
I
no
would assume.
idea. Yeah,
Corvo, I
yeah,
would
Netflix.
guess. Lady
Yeah, I
Emily.
guess so.
On
All right.
Netflix in my living room 4 days from
Yeah.
now.
Up my ass. Perfect, guys.
You think it'd be animated or live action?
Up my ass and live
Both.
animated. Sorry.
Ooh, both. Interesting.
They paint the ridges of my rectum. Real good. Real good.
Alright.
All right, guys. And with that, I think we'll wrap up episode 54. Thank you all for joining us on a lovely episode of Crafting a Chat again. Everybody stay tuned for next week. If there are any sort of PlayStation events that happen in between, because people are still talking about the 19th, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because PlayStation's, just they don't want to say anything
Oh
today.
yeah,
So
they didn't say anything today.
they didn't say anything today,
Damn
so
it.
we might not have anything at all. But,
What a
we'll
bunch
keep
of
you guys
fucks.
updated, obviously. Yeah, pretty much. Everybody stay safe out there. Go get your vaccine and stop spreading the virus. We'll see you guys here again next Tuesday, same place, same time, on twitch.tv/crafting a chat, starting too late on YouTube. And everybody have a nice night. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, motherfucker.